morning, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my little corner of YouTube. So this is my Flosstube channel where I document my journey with cross stitch. So we are here for a weekly update again. So yep, I'm back for another update. Today is Tuesday the 24th of February 2026. Can you believe February? I know it's a short month, but gee, that's gone quick. So yeah, we're almost at the end of the month. So today though is just a weekly update, and it is an update from my last video. So it'll show what I've worked on for the last week from the 17th of February through to yesterday, the 23rd of February. I'm really happy with my stitching progress this week. I was sort of thinking I wasn't doing very well until I added up my numbers this morning, and I'm like, ooh, actually I did better than I thought. So I'm really quite happy about that. So I'm going to work through as I do, with starting with some of the full coverage and then some non-full coverage, and then do a few little things where I've worked on for my stitching games. And that's pretty much it. So shall we just get straight into it? Yeah? Well, I think we will. Let's go for a frolic through my whip, shall we? So here's some weekly stats for you. This week, the last 7 days, I managed to do 4,243 stitches, and that is now my highest stitching week so far this year. It's probably the highest stitching week ever, to be honest, but so far this year. I had no finishes, sadly. That was a bit sad. And I had a new start. But it's gorgeous. So yeah, you wait and see, you see that. And I worked on a total of 11 projects for the week. So yeah, so it was a bit of switching and going around there. But yeah, it was good. So for February so far, I've done 13,516 stitches and worked on 19 projects. Had 3 new starts and 2 finishes. So unfortunately at the moment, the starts are running ahead of the finishes. So that's got to be rectified sometime in the very near future. And my year to date is 28,376, and I've worked on 27 projects. I've had 7 new starts and 6 finishes. So yeah, so I definitely need to get my backside into gear and get something else finished. Well, what shall we talk about? We have got the usual suspects. First usual suspect is my daily stitch. So yes, I have managed to continue to work on this every day in the last 7 days, and I have worked on it every day this year so far. So I'm very, very pleased with that. I'm managing to do it. So basically what I'll do is I'll work up, if I don't touch it earlier in the day, I will stop working on whatever I'm working on at 8 o'clock at night and switch to this, because that way I know I'll get a minimum of 100 stitches in before I go to bed. And some days that's all I've done is 100 stitches and I've gone to bed. It just depends on where I'm working in. But the one I'm talking about is the HAED sale 2026 Fairytale. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist is Muse. I started this on the 1st of January 2026. The chart size for this is 225 wide by 394 high, which is a total of 88,650 stitches. And my goal for this is to finish the 6 pages. So I need to get a total of around 45,000 stitches to do that. When you saw this last week, I was sitting on 8,068 stitches completed, or 9.10%. And I managed to put in another 878 stitches this week. So I've had a couple of lean days, unfortunately, where I've only just got a minimum of 100 stitches, but that's okay. I managed to get it done. So I'm at 3,421 stitches so far for the month. And as I mentioned, no, I didn't mention, but I'm now at 8,946 stitches for the year, and I have hit 10%. So I'm now sitting at 10.09%. Really, really, really pleased with that. That was a good little milestone to hit. So what did I actually work on for the week. So mainly my working for the week is I've been up around here. So I've been filling in the brickwork. This has all been while I've been watching the Winter Olympics. So it's been great fun doing this and watching Winter Olympics. And I've been slowly filling in these little stitches or confetti stitches around here so that I can get down to where the page is. So it's around about, I know it's here somewhere, but I want to try and get all of this done if I can this week so that I can get a page break, or a page finished rather than a page break, but work to the page break. Pretty much that's all I've been doing. So it's all been filling in around here, filling in here, filling in here. So I pick a color. If there's a ninja up here that needs a bit of a fill in, I see if there's any color anywhere else. If not, I'll leave it. If there is, then I'll fill it in, and then I'll continue filling in around here. But yeah, so this is where this is at now. Oops, put it up a bit so you can see it all. Someone's finished it already. Cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. There is a lady in the Facebook group has already finished it. Amazing. Amazing. And there's another lady in the group that has been doing color by color. That looks amazing. Unbelievable, but yeah. So I'm just going to keep plodding away. It'll get done. It'll get done. It won't be finished this year, but if I can get my 6 pages finished, I will be extremely happy with that. So yeah. So that's it. So that's my daily stitch. Done and dusted, but I'm very pleased. At least I hit 10%. Let's pop that over there. So that is a nice little milestone to have reached for the month. Okay. So I actually managed, did I have anything else I need to tell you about that one? No. Stitch on 25 count, easy go 1/1. I don't think I said that. Okay. Guess what I pulled out on the other day? This will come out again in a couple of days. Well, may not be today, but it will definitely has to come out again for another stitching session this week. So this is 6 portals. Now this is the full version of the 6 portals. It is charted by Paine Free Crafts and the artist is Rose Catherine Khan. I started this on the 2nd of November 2025. It is stitched on 32 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. This is my largest ever, and it will be proper. I don't think I'll ever pick anything else that's this big again. So this is 1206 wide by 800 high, which is a total of 964,800 stitches. When you saw this a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting at 6,113 stitches completed, or 0.63%. The other day when I pulled it out, I only managed to get 210 stitches in. So that's a bit dismal. I am sitting at 885 stitches now for the month and 2,477 stitches for the year. My goal for this one is 5%, and I'm struggling a little bit. I don't think I'm going to make it, but you never know. Who knows? Might do it, but I doubt it. And I've now completed in total 6,323 stitches, or 0.66%. I'm currently working on portal 5. So the way I'm tackling this is it is 1 portal a month, and hoping to get 1,000 stitches each month on the portal. Now, to get my 5%, I actually need to do 3,000 stitches a month on it, and that's at the moment not happening. But I did want to try and make this a daily stitch at some point, which will help get those stitches in. But at the moment, that's not happening either. Now, as I mentioned, portal 5 is February's focus. So my plan is to work on this 1 portal a month. Now, in November through to December, I worked across all 6 portals and just did scattered stitches. January, I did some more in portal 6, and now February, I'm portal 5. Now, the reason I'm going backwards is I couldn't be bothered taking this off the Q-snap, because as you can see, it's quite big, quite cumbersome, and it's annoying to have to keep moving it off the Q-snap. But obviously I'm going to have to do a change because I need to work on portal 4 next month. So if I can bring it up, And I basically have just done fill in and keep filling in across here. So I'll bring it a bit closer so that you can see it, and then I can put a picture underneath of what it looked like before my 210 stitches. Now, as I mentioned, I do need to bring this out again this week. It has been chosen for the Down Under Divas deck of whips for week 8. So the 8th of, is that 10 of diamonds or something? So it is my diamond suit whip. So I need to get 500 more stitches in this before the end of the week, before Sunday. So it'll be out. Won't be today because I don't get much time to stitch on a Tuesday after I've done the video and edited and everything. So it will be out hopefully tomorrow though, to start working towards that 500 stitches. So yeah, I'm happy with the fact that I actually managed to get it out, even if I didn't get more than very many stitches in what's going on here. Oh, go on, get in there, get in there. Just pause you for a sec while I wrangle. Okay, wrangled. So that was 6 portals. Yeah, I love that. I really do enjoy sitting there stitching on it. I'm wondering though if that 32 count is going to get harder as I get sort of more dense in there, but so far I'm enjoying it, so we'll just keep going. Okay, the next one on the list of usual suspects, because I really think I'm going to call these ones the usual suspects. You see them pretty much every week, right? So here we go again for a pretty one. So this is Flamingo in Flowers. This is my weekly stitch, so I tend to stitch on this on a Friday and or a Saturday. It is charted by Stitches So Beautiful, and the artist is Eder Rosa, and so I've got a really itchy nose. I started this on the 6th of June 2025. It is stitched on 25 count easy guide 1/1 full cross. This is 160 wide by 400 high for a total of 64,000 stitches. When you saw this last week, I was sitting at 11,502 stitches, or 17.97%. On Friday, I added another 320 stitches, which brings me up to 649 for the month and 2,369 for the year. And in total, I'm now sitting at 11,822 stitches, or 18.47%. So yes, Myelstönn, 18%. I know that 1% is not really a milestone, but it's a mini milestone, right? I increased it by 1%. In the scheme of things, it's not huge. My goal for this is 50%. So that means I need to have it completed at 32,000 stitches by the end of the year, and I'm still got 20,000 odd stitches to go to get that completed for the end of the year. Now, where did I work on this one? I mainly did, what did I do? What did I do for my, oh yes, okay, bit there. I know I did some fill-ins. I did a bit of fill-in. I know I decided that I didn't really do much in around this area because I decided to leave all of that behind. And what I did basically is I have done a lot of fill-in. So I've done a little bit more down here, and I've just gone around and filled in some bits and pieces. It's a little bit hard to see on what I've actually done. I know I did 320 stitches on it, but yeah. I will pop up the picture anyway, so you'll see. So basically what I now want to do is, yes, I've got all this here, but I need to start working across here and get this across. And then I'll start coming back down again. Love this. Every time I see it, I just fall in love with it again. Just so sweet, so nice. So yeah. This is being stitched on for the Stitches So Beautiful sale. So each week I need to do a minimum of 250 stitches and post before this time round. I think it's before Sunday. So it depends on how the first falls, and then every week based on that. so far I have been keeping up with that, and I'm looking forward to getting the free chart, which is quite pretty this month. So the March sale will start opening up in a couple of days. It's usually, it starts opening up a day or two before the end of the month, ready for people to start posting what they're going to do for the upcoming month. So yeah. Now I was sort of tempted to have a new start for the March one, but I haven't got myself organised with my threads. So I'll probably just do this one again, and then maybe in April I'll start a new one. We'll see. Just see how we go. But very, very, very pleased that I managed to at least get myself to 18%. That's good. I'm pleased about that. I just updated that because I'd only just realised I'd done that. I hadn't actually seen that when I did my other bit. Right, okay. What's next? Long winter's nap. So a long winter's nap, I've had this out for a couple of days this week because I chose to use this for the full coverage Fanatics Olympics event. And given that it is a winter whip, I thought that that was a perfect thing to use. Got a couple of hanging threads that I just need to put over there. So I pulled this out. I'm also using it for full coverage Fanatics bingo for the month. What else did I have this out for? I think that was it. I think I probably used it for something else, but I can't remember now. So a long winter's nap, and charted by Heaven and Earth Design. The artist is Dona Gelsinger. I started this on the 22nd of December 2024, and it is a semi-memorial piece for my dad because Santa looks like my dad. I'm stitching this on 28 count easy guide, 1/1 full cross. It is 400 wide by 314 high, which is a total of 125,600 stitches. When you saw this at the end of January, because I tend to try and stitch on this on the 25th of every month, and so you saw it in my end of January Flosstube, and I was sitting at 6,330 stitches, or 5.04%. In the last week, I've put in 705 stitches, yes! So I'm sitting at 705 stitches also for the month for this, and total stitches is 1,017 stitches. So yeah, majority of the year was done this month. So yeah, not bad. So I did actually have a goal for this to try and stitch on at least 1,000 stitches a month, which is sort of not really happened so far. It will happen this month because I've still got to do some more stitches on it yet. The 2026 goal is to get it to 15%. So I've still got about 11,000 stitches to go to get that. So that's why I'd worked it out that I would do 1,000 stitches a month, because that would meet my goal. So I'm currently sitting at now 7,035 stitches, or 5.60%. So I've hit a mini milestone of 7,000 stitches this week. So I'm really pleased about that. But it will still have another visit yet, because I've got to come out and do some more. So what did I do? Well, I've started down here. I was doing a lot of filling in here, and basically it was all browns and sort of 815s and some dark reds and stuff. So, and I've also been filling in some missing stitches up around here in the greenery, which is the mantelpiece. So this is all part of the mantelpiece. And then I decided to come down here and start working on the bright red. So just to give me a bit of a break. But then I've got to come back up here again because I need to get all this done as well. But I'm very, very happy with my progress. So, yep, 705 stitches. So I need to bring it out for another just 300 stitches so that I can get my bingo square finished for this one, because it's 1,000 stitches to get my bingo square done, and I will be very happy to do that probably in the next couple of days. But we'll see what happens. And I'm just going to pause for a sec. Much easier if I pause and wrangle than sort of having it all over the place. Right. Guess what else came out this week? So The Down Under Divas deck of whips for week 7, I finally had Descants. Now Descants is my heart suits one, and that finally got drawn. So I had to bring Descants out and do some stitches in, and I needed to get a minimum 500 stitches, which I did. Now I did show you I'm pretty sure I showed you the starting point in my last video, but previously before that, this was has not been out all year. So this is the first time Descants has come out this year. Now this is actually the HAED Sale 2025 version of Descants. It's not the full Descants, it's just the smaller version. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artist is Stephanie Law. I think it's Stephanie Pooman Law, but I can never get that moon bun thing done, so I just call it Stephanie Law. I started this on the 1st of January 2025. It is stitched on 28 count easy guide 1/1 full cross, 327 wide by 261 high, for a total of 85,347 stitches. Now, when it was last shown to you at the, well, last week for a bit of a, this is where I'm starting, but basically at my whip parade at the end of last year, I was sitting on 16,646 stitches, or 19.50%. I put in 503 stitches this week, which is the same for the month and the year so far, because it's the only time I worked on it. And I am now sitting at 17,149 stitches, or 20.09%. So yes, I have cracked a milestone. I've got 20% now on this one, so I'm very, very happy about that. My goal for the year, though, was 50%. I don't think I'm going to get that now, but I still need to get another 25,000 stitches to do that. And my plan was to stitch on this every month, and it hasn't happened so far, except for now. So yeah, so I don't think that 50% goal is now achievable. Now I have moved the Q-snap, so there's a little bit of the edge, but my starting picture, my before picture, will show you before the Q-snap move. And all I did was work on over here. Yep, that's it. So yes, just in here, it's all very, very pale colors. So I've just been working in that for my 503 stitches. Now, it would be nice to do a little bit more and get it up to 1,000 for the month, but it's not going to happen, I don't think. We'll see. We'll see. I'd like to, but we'll see. But yeah, at least it came out. And that's the first time that in the deck of whips, hearts was drawn. So yeah, it's been a bit sort of, not my fault. It's the deck of cards that doesn't fall for it. So yeah, but that's all right. But we'll see how we go. So with a bit of luck, it'll come out again. Hopefully hearts will be drawn again. Now, that's the usual suspects plus done. We're going to have a look at a new start now. Should we have a look at a new start? This is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love this. So I did tell you what, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, if not in the last video, one of them before, that I was going to start a long dog sampler. Again, the second long dog, so a long dog sampler. And I did. Now, call me crazy, but you know, that's just how we roll, because sometimes I am crazy. I know I need to get back to Castles in the Air, but unfortunately Castles in the Air has got some issues and I need to have a play, and I've struggled getting Castles in the Air into Pattern Keeper. Now, I don't know if I've got to have a look. I'm pretty sure I bought the PDF from the website after I bought the paper copy, but I got a funny feeling maybe I didn't, and I've just scanned it, and that's maybe why it's not going in. I don't know, but I'm going to see if I can try and get that in at some point so I can spend a bit more time on this. But this is the Fisher King, and yeah, I've got a huge starting thing because this is my whole piece of fabric for this, and now that I've beautifully folded it and I've had to unfold it, I'll have to beautifully fold it back up again. So this is my little starting point. I am using Silks for You silk, and I've got massive amount of trailing threads. Let me just do this. Massive amount of trailing threads, because I'm trying to be a little bit strategic in how I'm doing this. So this is stitched on 28 count Lugana, a whole lot of love by Colour Cascade Fabrics. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. Yeah, fun. No, it's nice actually. I really enjoyed this. I nearly did not put this down when I started doing it. I basically did 410 stitches in the afternoon, and I'm like, oh, if I keep going, I might get a really good number, but I had to stop and change whips and do something else. I don't know, maybe I'm being silly doing it 1/1, but you can see the butterfly appearing, and there's a little butterfly there, so I think it's going to look stunning. My idea is to do the majority of it in the darker Silks for You silk that I've got, and then there's a slightly lighter one that's the same shade that I'm going to do little bit different bits in. So now the other thing is there is a two border, a single row and another single row around. I haven't done that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I'm leaving that for another day to decide, basically. So anyway, this is 367 wide by 415 high. Now there is 77,786 cross stitches in it, and then there's the back stitch. So there's another 4,000 in back stitch. And as I mentioned, I have done 410 stitches on it, and that's all I've got to, so I'm now at 0.53%. I did this for the Whip Warriors, the Stitch and Seek. There was 2 prompts. The main prompt was the horse and carriage, and there's a horse and carriage on this, and there was also rabbit or hares, and there's rabbits or hares on this, so I was able to do, that's why I did 410. So I knocked off those 2 prompts in one afternoon. But I just had such fun. So the reason why I've got so many trailing threads is because at the top there's actually 3 rows there, and so I did each row as a single thread. There is a very, very, very slight variegation in this thread. You can sort of see it. If I can get it, it is very hard to see, but there is a very, very pale, very, very, it's so slight, it's unbelievable. So basically what I did is I did 1 row, and I was doing it so that, because obviously it's not gridded, I had to be very careful with my counting. So I did 10, 10, 10. Then I came down and did a bit more in here, and then I kept building it and building it. So that's why I've got all these trailing threads, is I was sort of like trying to do a block of 10 at a time to make sure that I'm not hopefully miscounting anywhere. But I love it. It's just amazing. It's come up so nice. So nice. So pretty much the idea is to do 90% of it in that colour, 85%, whatever it's going to be. But my thinking is this little stairway sort of thing will be in the other one. The horse and carriage, which are here, is also going to be in the lighter thread. Possibly this big dragon. And then we'll see from there what else. The horses, I was toying up the idea I might do the horses yet in black along with the cats. This guy here might be in black. But yeah, we're just, it's obviously a long way off, so we'll just see how we go. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm not doing those 2 rows at this stage. I will see when it may be I need to just do 1. I don't know. But I've got a huge amount of fabric on it. The fabric wasn't big enough to do it 2/2. I could have gone to a better size of fabric, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it 1/1, and then I've got no worries about the possibility that I will run out of my Silks for You. So this is the main colour, as you see, it is slightly dark, and then this is the other one, which is pretty much the same, but it is slightly lighter. So they're the two that I'm using for that. But I'm really pleased with the start on that. It's come up really gorgeous and I'm very, very happy. I'll just slide that over there. So yeah, I'm not sure when that's going to come out again though. That's the problem. So hopefully I can find something that will make me bring it back out again. Righty-ho. Now, we have got another one that is technically not a stitching game one anymore, and it's not a full coverage, so it's a non-full coverage, and it is this little one. Now, this is Home for the Holidays. Home for the Holidays I started last month and was using it in my temperature stitching because it is a Just Cross Stitch magazine Christmas 2025 ornament, and for the Facebook group that I'm in, the Just Cross Stitch 2025 ornament group, this was January's ornament to start and finish, but of course I'm not going to get them finished in a month. So I had done, I think, 100 stitches. Yes, I had done 100 stitches just as a start. You'll see the starting point of that. For Whip Warriors, for the Stitch and Seek in February, one of the prompts is red. So you had to do a minimum of 100 stitches in red. So I did 200 stitches in red. So I got that done, and then I ended up actually doing 302 stitches in total because I used it for something else. I think I used it in Daily 30. I'm using it for the ornament sale in the Daily 30, that's right. Now, when I originally looked at this design, I wasn't going to stitch that little bit there because I still think it looks odd, and I appreciate it is part of the house, then the way the snowdrift goes. I stitched it. I just thought, you know what, it's there. I need 200 stitches in red. I just keep going. So I stitched it. So I'm now sitting at, and I've also started some on the roof, and I did a bit of the white in there, and I've done a bit of the green around here. So I was a bit all over the place because I'm just like, now I've done all this red, I'm just going to do some filling and stuff. So I did 302 stitches for the week. I'm now sitting at 402 stitches for this in total. The goal for the year is to get it finished, so it will come out again at some point over the year. It is going to go back into temperature stitching later on in the year because the wheel that I use for the whips I haven't touched in ages. I've only got, I think, 3 more ones on there to touch, and once they're touched, all of these will go into that category, and I'm just going to rename it to something like I want to get it finished or something. So yeah, so that's where that one's at. Now this is stitched on a 32 count Joblin. It is a no-name one. It was just a piece that I bought when she was doing, she sometimes sells her offcuts and misdyes and stuff. So it doesn't have a name, but it's from Colour Cascade Fabrics. There you go. So that's that. That's that one. When you see it again, who knows? It may appear because I might keep it. I might keep it in the Orny stitch along thing for the Daily 30 group. I'll just see what happens. Righty-ho. We are up to the stitching games that I'm playing. So I'm not even going to talk about the Ashes stitching. I haven't touched Seagull and I haven't touched World Travel Bookshelf. That World Travel Bookshelf does have to come out this week. So we'll get some stitches in on that. So I'm not even going to talk about that because I've got nothing to say. That's sad. That is sad. So we're going to move straight to my temperature stitching. So temperature stitching is an idea that originated with Siska stitches, and it has been adopted by and adapted by other stitches. The way I'm doing mine is similar to Jen the Caffeinated Crafter, where I have chosen 4 categories and then I have randomly allocated the numbers 0 to 9 across my 4 categories. So 2 categories have 3 numbers and 2 categories have 2 numbers. The groups that I have are mini kits and freebies. So they are all the little small starts that I did back in 2015, 2016. Most of them are free kits from the UK magazines, that when they used to send them out with the free kits and I used to buy them. I now read them digitally through Readly or my Libby app. So yes, I don't have those free kits because generally they've got the chart inside, so that's okay. I've also chosen a number of full coverage whips that don't always get used, so that is my thing, to try and get some stitches into those. I am also using Christmas Orny New Start, which is based on the ornaments that were chosen in the Just Cross Stitch Facebook group, that where we went through, that voted on all of the, what's the word I'm looking for? All of the designs in the 2025 Christmas one, and these are the ones now that I've chosen to start. There's a couple that I didn't like, so I'm using another design from the magazine or from a previous magazine as my wild card for those. And then the Haven't Touched in Years group, which, as I mentioned, are ones I want to get finished, or I haven't touched them in a very long time, so I thought that we could bring them out and do that. Now, February, as I mentioned, is getting close to being over. So I have done my final now wrap up, or not wrap up, but final temperatures for the month. So as of tomorrow, so my temperatures start on Wednesday, we have 35, 31, 34 and 26. That rounds out the month. And then we go into March and we have to start with the 26 and the 28. But we're not talking about March just yet. We'll keep going with February for a second. As I have done the wheel. I did the wheel this morning for March. So we'll talk about that in a sec. And so my choices for February were Minnie Mouse card for mini kit and freebies. Mini Paris Morning for my full coverage, which I still have not touched. I must do that this week. That's now up to 450 stitches required, so I need to get that done. The Christmas Orny New Start was Santa's Express, and I haven't started that, so I need to try and at least get that started. I only need 250 stitches for that, so if I can get that started in the next day or so, I can get that done. And then there was Peace to My Heart for the Haven't Touched in Years. Now, that in total came up 3 times. I only allocate 50 stitches per time it comes up. So that came up 3 times, but I'd 287 stitches ahead on that. So, well, I did 280 stitches, it's finished. So I'm ahead on that, so that's fine. So Minnie Mouse card I worked on this week, so I'll show you that in a minute. Now, I have done the draw for March, but I'm not going to show what those whips are. I'll show them next week, but I'm going to quickly run through them. The mini kit is a little angel Christmas card. The full coverage focus is actually World Travel Bookshelf. Now, that's actually had more work on it sort of this month or this year so far than I thought when I first put that on the wheel, but that's all right. I need to do it for the Ashes stitching, so that's really good. Santa's Helper will be the New Start, so that's good. And then I have Rococo Ladies, which is a soda stitch one, and I will bring that out. Now, I have started that on 32 Count Belfast. I don't have a huge amount of work on that one. So given my thing where lately every time I look at something that's on Belfast, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to stitch it. We'll see how we go with that. But that hasn't been drawn yet. It may not even get drawn depending on the temperatures, so I might be okay. So we'll show you next week all of those whips because it'll be March, but I'm not going to worry about showing them for now. I'm going to show you Minnie Mouse though, because Minnie Mouse, I did manage to do some work on her. So this is the Minnie Mouse card. This was a free chart from a Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, and unfortunately I have no idea what year this was. It could have been any time before 2019. I started on the 24th of June 2019. When you saw it last, I'd only done another 100 stitches on it. Now, I had done some stitches on it prior to that, obviously, as a start, but I hadn't done much. And I've only done another 132 stitches on it. So we're now sitting at 232 stitches in total for the month for this one. And in total for the whole design, I've done 434 stitches. Now, this is a pain in the butt. There is fractionals everywhere. Just about every single end of row where it meets another colour, it's a quarter stitch, and it's been driving me insane because every time I try to pierce the Eder, it slips and whatever. So yeah, we're not having much fun with this, but I've managed to finish her bow, which is really good. So that's what I did the other day. Now, when I bring her out again, I will do her other ear over here and then do her face. But it's interesting because you think, oh, there's not a lot of stitches in this. It's actually quite deceptive because there is a few stitches in it. So yes, so I will work on her ear and then we'll come back down into her face and do that. Now, the white here is not stitched, so that's really good. That's just back stitch. That's fantastic. And there is a reasonable amount of back stitch in this as well. So it will not be finished in the long term, in the short term. Long term, it'll be finished, but in the short term, it won't be. So it will stay on the wheel and we'll see whether it comes up. Now, it may be that I can pull it out at some point sooner rather than later as well and do some stitches, but I've got to finish off the stitches that are required on it. So you'll see it again at least once more. How many stitches do I need to finish on that? I still need to do another 168 stitches on it. So I will pull that out probably one morning this week if I can and just get it done and then put it away. So yeah, so that's all I did for temperature stitching. And I do need to pull out Mini Paris Morning as well this week because yeah, I want to get that done. Bake Off. Okay, so we are still working through the stitches that I have outstanding for the Great British Bake Off Series 16, which is the 2025 series. And while that has been finished for a few weeks now, I'm slowly working through the outstanding stitches. And this week I worked on Quarantine Cats. I said I was going to, and I did. Admittedly, I did it yesterday, but I still did. I still worked on it. So Quarantine Cats is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart, and the artist is Brigid Ashwood. This is now retired. I have not seen it on any of the other sites that now chart Brigid Ashwood. So it may be there, but I haven't seen it. Started this on the 25th of December 2020. This is my very, very first full coverage. And I haven't got very far with it. It is stitched on 25 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. Chart size is 675 wide by 506 high, which is a total of 341,550 stitches. You would have seen this at the end of my whip parade in 2025. And at that point, I was sitting at 24,433 stitches completed, or 7.15%. Yesterday I put in 409 stitches, so we are sitting at a total of 409 for the month and this year. And I am now completed 24,842 stitches, or 7.27%. And I got a page finish. Yes! That is so exciting. I got a page finish. So as you will see when you see the little thing I popped up, I just had a few stitches down in here. Now, to be honest, I don't know why. I think I came up here last year and did some work up here because I needed some stitches really quickly and I couldn't be bothered fiddling. So I've now finished that. So I finished that off yesterday, and then I came back and I've done more up here. So all of that blue and stuff. So that's the sky in through the window. So that's where we're at. Now, I will be moving the Q-snap at some point, but I want to get this area done here first, and then I'll move the Q-snap. So this is the full amount of it, what I've done so far. I do love this. I was sitting here yesterday, we're doing it, and going, why am I stitching on this? Like, it is so beautiful. So stunning. So, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful pussycat. Now, there is, this is the exciting bit. There is a chandelier here, and then there's a pussycat starting to come in sort of around. Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Let me just have a quick look, because there is a cat coming in. I know, I was looking at it yesterday going, oh, this is going to be so fantastic because I can get to my cat. So, yes, so chandelier comes sort of in here. And then where in line with the bird is the cat. So the one that's hanging in the chandelier. So yeah, that's my goal, is to get to that cat. I need to get to that cat. But yeah. So once I've completed the 500 I need for Bake Off, which I only need another 90 odd stitches. Once I've done that, this will be out for another 500 for Sewing Bee, and then that means that it is completed for both Sewing Bee and Bake Off. So yeah, just pause for a sec. So yes, so very, very happy with what's going on with that one for the time being, but I do definitely want to get some more stitches in it. I did have a goal of that to get to 9% this year. So I've got 6,898 stitches to get to that goal. And my monthly goal to do that was 500 stitches. So if I can get, you know, another 500 in, I'm pretty much on target to keep going, but I've just got to make sure that I get 500 stitches at least a month into that. So yeah, see how we go. So Sewing Bee. I did work on one of my Sewing Bee ones as well. So I worked on my Proverbs 3 and 4. This is a paper chart, wherever it's gone. The design is Paola Gattiblu. It is Italian, and this is the one I'm doing here. So I'm thinking it's Proverbs 4. I'm not 100%, but I'm guessing that's 3 and that's 4. I started this on the 14th of May, 2018. So it's been around for a little while. And when I first left it, I'd really done very little. You saw this back at the end of January when I had done another 192 odd stitches. I've now put in another 111 stitches, and it is looking like this. So as you'll see, all I've done is the black here. So when you saw it last time, we'd had the tail, and now I've done the black. Now this is stitched on a tea coffee dyed even weave. Don't even know if it's might be a Lagana, I'm guessing, might be a Joblin, I'm not sure. It was just a 28 count even weave that I'd got. It was a colour I didn't particularly like. It was like a dirty grey. And so I tea coffee dyed it, and that's what we come up with. I'm now sitting at, so I did 111 stitches this week, so that's what I'm sitting at for the month, and in total for the year I've done 213 stitches, and there's 303 stitches completed in this little design so far. Very, very cute. Now this particular thread is a Jodery called Blue Moon, so it's a variegated thread, and then that's just DMC black. Nothing exciting on that one. And the rest of the colours, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, because I never fully kitted this up. I just pulled out the thread to start it. I'm currently using this for something. What am I using this for? Don't know. I think I used it for something, for one of the prompts, but I can't remember now. But next month, possibly this will be out, and to get at least 500 stitches, because Down Under Divas, the monthly will be E and F, and one of the prompts is to stitch on something with an egg. Now, these are eggs. I know they're very hard to see on this, but they are eggs, and that kitten is hatching from the eggs, and the cat is sitting on a nest hatching eggs, because that's apparently what this is. This sort of says something like the cat is brooding, or there's something fishy going on around here, sort of thing. So yeah. So you will see that again. It will come out again in the next couple of weeks. And then once I've got the bake-off, the sewing bee stitching done on that, I've still got another 200 odd stitches to finish the sewing bee stitching on that. I will be switching to quarantine cats, and then I'll be pulling something else out to get finished on the sewing bee. Now, Whip Go, no, I haven't touched Maidens of the Season, which was the draw for this month, so we'll ignore Whippo, right? You can scroll past through that. Right, okay, so full coverage fanatics bingo. One of the prompts I'm working on is quarantine cats, so I need to get 1,000 stitches into that to finish that, which I will be doing. 6 portals is also a bingo one. Descants, I was going to try and do some more stitches on Descants if I can this week, because I want to finish a prompt on that. And I used a long winter snap for a one as well, so I need to finish those as well. Now, Winter Olympics for full coverage fanatics. So Australia ended up with six medals in total, I think. We got, 3 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze. So the best we've ever done at a Winter Olympics. So fantastic for those athletes, and really for anybody who went, because I wouldn't be doing that. So they all did really, really well. So in the end, all I needed to do was, I think about 700 stitches or something for my full coverage fanatics. So that was done with long winter snap, because I got 705 stitches. So I'm going to tick that one off. The Down Under Divas Decker Whips, as I mentioned last week, was Descants. So I did my 500 stitches on Descants, and this week Diamonds was pulled, and that is 6 portals. So I need to make sure I get 500 stitches done on 6 portals before the end of the week, before Sunday. That's pretty much it. I don't need to run through that. Right. Stitches So Beautiful. Not Stitches So Beautiful. Semi-Sane Stitches. Where do I get Stitches So Beautiful from? So Semi-Sane Stitches. I haven't touched the calendar Winter Welcome one this month, so I'm way behind now on that. But I did work on Frigg, which is my tracking one. So Frigg is the one I'm using for my stitching log. This is a Carolyn Manning design, and you will see it pop up in a second. For January, I had completed 14,860 stitches, which meant I needed to get 1,486 stitches done on this whip to do the 10%, because I'm doing 10% of what I stitch each month on this whip. I've completed now my January stitching for Frigg. So this is where is on the fabric I'm stitching it on. Now, this is being stitched on 28 count Opal Brittany Texas Blue Bonnets from Jodery Designs. This is the March 2020 limited edition. I am doing it in DMC, which is the called for. Excuse me, I really should not drink a cup of tea while I'm doing a video. This is 191 by 191, so a total of 36,481 stitches. I started on the 8th of February 2026, and I have done another 263 stitches since you saw it last week. Yes, I've got multiple trailing threads all over the place. So in total for the month, I've done 1,497 stitches, and that's the same for the year to date. And I'm sitting at 4.10% for the total of the design. So far, I need to probably do around about 1,300 stitches or thereabouts for February. So depending on where we get, we'll need to bring this out and do some more stitches. This is I'm working on the diagonal, and I'm trying to do at least minimum of 2 blocks every time I pick it up. So it's 9 by 9 in the block, so 81 stitches in a block, and it's basically like a 9-patch quilt. But doesn't it look stunning? Amazing, absolutely amazing. So yes, as I mentioned, I'm working on the diagonal. So my next block will be this one. I just think it's amazing. So I am stitching this 1 over 1 on the 28 count as well. Beautiful. It's funny because the colours you sort of think are a bit drab, but you can see that they're, I don't know if don't appear to come up very well on the camera, but in real life they actually do look really gorgeous. So this will be out next week, because obviously we will be getting to the end of the month on, is it Saturday, I think is the end of the month. So I will then be able to on Sunday, Monday know what I need to do on that. What I would like to do is try and actually so in that last bit of the month and the beginning of the next month, actually start working on it so that I can get those stitches done really quickly and then put it away. But we'll just see how we go. I'm not going to stress over that. Now, that was my last week. So we have done our frolicking. Yep, our frolic is at an end. Cool. So really, all I want to do is just give you a quick run through of what I want to do this week. Now, as usual, my plans go like massive and I do this. But that's okay, because if I don't have this, I won't even get this, right? So yeah, so massive big plans again. So here we go. Let's see how far we get this week. So I will be working on Fairytale every day this week, minimum of 100 stitches. I would like to get back onto the wine shelf and try and get that done. I don't think that will happen this month. So, but going forward in March, I want to get back to doing that every day. Flamingo and Flowers will come out on Friday for a minimum of 250 stitches for the Stitches So Beautiful set. 6 Portals will definitely be out this week. I have to get my 500 stitches for Down Under Divas done before Sunday, because Sunday is the first of the month and I want to have this done before the end of the month. So I will try and get the 500 stitches done before Saturday if I can. A Long Winter's Nap will be also out because I want to just finish off the bingo 1,000 stitches. So I only got to get 300 stitches. So that's just an afternoon. So with a bit of luck. I was going to try and do some more on Haunted House. I think that's not going to happen now this month. So that was a bit of a dismal failure for that bingo square. But it was okay because I'm focusing on a line. If I can get the stitches done on that line, I've got a bingo, and I'll be happy with that. But it is what it is, right? Temperature stitching will possibly continue on Minnie Mouse and definitely on Minnie Paris Morning. I need to get the stitches in for that. Bake Off, I will finish off the 500 for Quarantine Cats and then move that across to the Sewing Bee and then start working on something else. I'm not sure yet what I will pick for Bake Off to get done. And Sewing Bee, I will finish the stitches I required for Proverbs, and then we'll see if we can get time to start on Quarantine Cats. We'll just see what happens. Ashes stitching, I will try and get World Travel Bookshelf out if I can. I think I've actually got it associated with my line that I want to get done for Full Coverage Fanatics. So yeah, we'll see. I may or may not get that done. I did have some new starts lined up for this week. I don't think I will get to them. I would like to at least try to do Santa's Express if I can. I don't think I'm going to get to the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So I think the Stitch and Seek, I will not finish all of the prompts for that potentially this month, unless I go and take a photo of a whip on my bed, which I didn't really want to put a picture of my bed up on Facebook, but maybe that's what I've got to do to finish that prompt. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now, just 2 seconds. I'm just going to pause. Right, I just wanted to make sure that I had got everything. But yeah, we are done. There is nothing I've missed. So we are now right on the hour. So I guess I better sign off and say goodbye. Thank you for visiting. I appreciate you taking the time to come and visit with me and to frolic through my whips each week. So thank you very much for liking, commenting and subscribing. And I'll be back next week. So till then, have a wonderful stitching week. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all in a week's time. Happy stitching. Catch you later. Bye.